Hey, so I'm going to be doing this challenge, or the simulated challenge, I guess, trading NASDAQ. That's what we talked about. We're going to be looking for liquidity rates. I'm going to be trading the New York session, and we're going to be using a fixed 2-to-1 risk to reward, no break-even stops, no trade management other than executing the trade and placing our orders. And the main goal of this is to show you guys how easy trading really can be when you take all of the excess thought out of it, when you stop overcomplicating things and just look for one setup. So first of all, you always want to look at your daily chart. If we look at the daily chart, we can clearly see prices still bearish. We're reacting to this bearish order block. We're pushing down to the downside. Here are some old tests I had done. We'll delete those drawings. But you can see there's a lot of sell side liquidity. This has already been tagged right here. But if we're looking, there's a lot of sell side liquidity at this low and over under these relatively equal lows. So first of all, it looks like the market is drawing down into these lows, right? On top of that, we also have this low. On top of that, we're trading into bearish price overrays like an order block. And if we go to a 1 hour, what happens after we trade on that order block? We took out liquidity and then what? The market displaced down. So we're looking at the market in a bearish tense. So we're looking to sell from above buy side liquidity. So we'll mark out our buy side liquidity on a 1 hour. You can also do this on a 15-minute. These highs are relatively equal right here. And then if we look on the 1 hour, we have a fair value gap above. So there's just a lot of confluence to look for the market to get above this level. We're going to add this 1 minute time frame on. Look for the market to get above this level and then look for sell. So if you look at the time, it's 9:10 Eastern. We're going to be waiting for the overall open, which is 9:30. So at this time at 9:30, we get a nice little spike under these lows. So if we're bearish and we're looking to sell above these highs, doesn't necessarily mean we can't trade into that. So after we spike out these lows early in the morning, we're taking out sell stops. So in a bearish market, we're looking for the market to raise back up above this buy side liquidity. So we're going to look for the market to trade up into these highs. So if we're looking at the market in that context, right, we can map out structure that was formed before we took out this sell side liquidity in order to maybe get a trade. So if we look here, this doesn't really look like there's going to be enough risk to reward from the overall entry on this right here. We put this, it's not going to be 2-to-1 because we want to make sure we're using 2-to-1 risk to reward. Wouldn't end up getting to that area. So we're not going to pay attention to this trade setup, although price is likely to still go into these highs. We'll see the market ended up would have been, looks like maybe a winning trade. Maybe it would have stopped out right there. We'll see. Okay, the market ended up coming up here. So now at this time, we're looking for sells, right? So when the market starts to turn down to the downside, we took out this short-term low here. I want to see maybe if we can get another sweep. Okay, this time, this is where I would go ahead and take a sell, put a stop loss here. And we're going to use a fixed 2-to-1 risk to reward. Get it right. So place order. We're going to use a market order. We're risking 1%. So at this time, we would just enter the market, targeting out that fixed 2-to-1 risk to reward. Trade moving pretty nicely. See if we can get that TP. If we can do this, make it a little quicker. See if we can come back to stop. Do we get stopped out? Okay, the trade ends up hitting the target right around after the lunch hour. That fixed 2R did end up lining up with this low. That wasn't what I was trying to target. Again, we're just gonna be using a fixed 2-to-1 for this whole challenge. Now, you could have targeted this low. It's likely where price is to head. Most likely that's where we're gonna see price go after. So see what happens after that. Price ends up going. Okay, this time we're watching. We've taken out a low over here, right around that 1:30 time. So sometimes you can get a decent setup at this time. What I like to do here, let's go back and see how the market reacts. Okay, we're taking out this low again. We're looking at, this is a point where I would just be pretty conflicted to try to trade. I would lean bullish, right? I mean, actually, the only reason I was saying conflicted is because there is kind of a silver bullet setup, and that is something I wasn't really trying to trade. So I'm just going to trust my edge. I'm going to look to get in a long here because we took out this low right here, and then we're displacing to the upside right there with the 5 minute. So it's a little bit of a higher time frame compared to the 1 minute. So overall, I like this. We took out this area of sell side liquidity. This is a Monday too, where you will see accumulation. So you're going to see a lot of ping pong in between these levels. So what I'm going to do here is I would get into this trade. I would have a stop under, yeah, I would put a stop under this fair value. No, that's not a fair value gap. I'd put a stop under this low right here and just go for a fixed 2R again, see what we can get. And if this trade hits, be done for the day. If it gets stopped, we'll be done for the day, because you want to make sure you secure your winning days and don't let them outweigh your losing days. Okay, let's see. Good thing we took that trade. So now we're up 4R on the day. At that point, definitely would want to stop. Let's recap these trades a little bit. So we're on Monday, likely to be a consolidation day based on weekly profile. We are overall bearish, so we're looking to sell above those highs as we did earlier. We confirmed that by waiting for the price to go above it, and we really could have sold right here, to be honest. This is a short-term low getting taken out, but I wanted to wait for a little bit more of a confirmation just because of this market structure. Then we got more displacement at the downside. At that time, market order, stop above the high resistance run, and then just put fixed 2R. Now this trade over here, we were looking for some kind of price action to tell us that we were going to draw to the upside. And since it was counter bias, I wanted to wait and see what we could get on a 5-minute, because if we look back here, we weren't really getting anything much there. And then we started to displace above this high right there. The market came down into this order block down here and started to drive away from it. So we look at this in a bullish tense, and again, just fixed 2 to 1, not much thought in it. So at this point, I'd be done with the day. It's already 3:30. Beautiful day. You want to go ahead and go to the next day of the week. So then we can click go to next session. It's going to take you to Asia, London. Now we're in New York in the morning. We can go ahead and kind of fast forward this up to around 9:30 in the morning. I like when I'm testing to start at 9, because that's usually when I get to my desk. So if we're looking at a Tuesday, we overall want to see the high of the week either put in on this Tuesday or a Wednesday. Let's map out some of these areas of liquidity. It's really not the most ideal looking chart, but we'll mark this out as an area of buy side liquidity. And that's really the only obvious thing I can see. Sure, there is some stuff up here. We can mark that out as well. We have these highs up here. So these are just areas we're looking to possibly sell above, or if we start to see a raid to the downside, since we're bearish, we're going to be looking for the market to draw into these levels. So you can kind of play both sides. So let's go to a 5-minute, so we're not jumping too hard. We're on the 15-minute. That's why I did that. All right, we were marking liquidity. So here's 9:30. Let's see what we can get here. Okay, we're coming under these lows right here. There's some relatively equal lows. So if we're coming into these lows, see what's on the 15-minute. It's breaker over here. That's not really trading into that too much, but we're still coming to these relatively equal lows. So I would be watching for potential buy. As long as we can get 2R into this high over here, then I would be maybe looking to take a trade. So we'll see what we can get, if we can get any kind of bullish price action. Okay, we're shifting above this high right there. So we're shifting above that. That to me, let's see if we can get stop under this to that. It's not really what I would want to see in terms of a trade. Overall, I think the market's probably going to go up there, but yeah, I mean, that's how it goes sometimes. Let's see if it ends up coming down, maybe never hit. Go to a 5-minute. Because at this time, whenever I'm trading sessions like this is where I just wait for the afternoon session anyways. It looks like it would have came all the way back down. Oh, and then it wants to maybe... Nope. See, this is just one of those choppy days, man. It's a good thing. Okay, there we go. We take that high. So let's see what time it is. So right around that 1:30. Let's see if we can get some kind of reversal here to get some kind of trade. We're taking out these lows right here. Now we're taking out this low with nice displacement. Let's see if we can get a retracement into any kind of fair value gap. Right here. $2 a.m. New York, it's been a little slow here. 15 minutes, we can get on with the time. But this time we're looking to put that high of the week in on a Tuesday or Wednesday. So this isn't the kind of energy I want to see away from a high on the week. So at this point, just based on time, I would look for the market to go higher. So you're going to look for the market to go here. We still have that liquidity up here. We still have a lot of liquidity up here. So the market has a lot of room. I mean, we have highs up here as well. No telling how far you could go. But we don't want to shoot for that. Again, this is why fixed risk to reward is nice, because it allows us to just look for, as this thing on my screen now. Well, I guess we're going to be using that. But we just want to look for some kind of push up higher to put in that high of the week since it's Wednesday. So at this time, it is still 7 a.m. Let's see if we can get price to... I don't know why this little icon is like that, but we're going to have to live with it. So it is 8 a.m. now. Let's see what's going on. What is it? 9:15. Oh, wow. Okay, some nice dump here into the open. Let's go ahead and mark out all these areas of sell side liquidity. So whenever there's a lot of lows like this, this is a good learning experience. A lot of people want to say trend line liquidity. I don't ever look for that. You have to ask yourself, where is the actual liquidity resting, right? Is it resting under this low? No, not here or here. It's going here. If it's going to take out all these lows, it's going for all of them, right? We also have a fair value gap under this. So let's see what the market does. Okay, trades under those lows. So let's see if we can get some kind of trade set up here. We're just going to wait for displacement to the upside to indicate that the market is going to move away from this liquidity pool. Okay, we got it right there. We're taking out this high with displacement. So at that time, I would look to enter this with a fixed 2-to-1 risk to reward. Place order, market order. Let's see what we can get. Okay, so we got one stop out. So at this time, the bias would still be bullish for me. So I would be willing to take another trade if I can get a displacement to the upside. Still pretty confident in this bias. We'll see. Market wants to give us anything. Still kind of just consolidating under these lows. No displacement to the upside. Okay, now we've got something right there. So at this time, we can go ahead and take another trade. Fix 2R. Do a market order. See what we can get here. Oh, boom, there we go. And that's important to, stick to your bias, stick to your guns. Don't just switch up because you take one loss. It's okay, it's gonna happen. There's no strategies that are just gonna be completely perfect. Now the account's sitting at 49.97.81. Make sure you guys can see it on the recording because I know my camera's here. Oops. Move my camera up a little bit for the rest of this video. So balance down here, 49.97.81. So let's see if we can get maybe some more trades today, because at this point the market is definitely going to be coming up. We're looking at this in a power of 3 setting. So when I look at this range right here, I look at that as accumulation that we've now manipulated. Now we're going to be moving higher to put in that high of the week. So at this point, what I like to do is just kind of zoom out to the 5-minute, see what the 5-minute likes to give us. And we're trading into this fair value gap right here. On the 1-minute and see the kind of price action. We're taking out low right there. We're displacing away from it. So at this time, I'm totally okay to take a trade there. Put a stop loss. Let's see, under there. I would be willing to put a stop loss under this fair value gap candle, because if we look, 2R is putting us just a little bit past one of our first targets, and the market could go a lot higher than that. So we'll just go ahead and place an order right here, market. See how this goes. Oh, wow. Okay, so the TP hit and then reacted pretty crazy. So went just above those highs into that 2R and then came back down. Looks like it would have hit break even, and then, but either way, it hit the profit target, so we're all good there. So in this day, I'd be done. No need to keep getting at it. Let's go ahead and go to the next day. So next session takes us to Asia, then to London, I think, right? Yeah, we're at London. So we will go to the next session. Now we're here. Go ahead and go a little bit closer to that open. Now let's take a look back at how Wednesday went. So we look at Wednesday and we're trying to confirm if the high of the week has been put in or not. What I like to see is some kind of displacement, telling us that, so to speak. So when I look here, the market formed some lows right here and we definitely displaced through them. So at this point, I'm looking for the market to come down and clear literally all of this out, right? So the next area of liquidity, if I'm going to go to a 15-minute, is going to be this low. So since I'm bearish on the week, right? Because remember, why are we bearish on the week? Well, the daily is bearish. We've traded up into this order block. So at this point, we've got a clear draw on liquidity like we talked about earlier. You're not straying away from that. You're staying focused on the higher time frame narrative. We're using time and price to tell us that the week is likely to put in the high on a Tuesday or Wednesday. We have these massive push up, taking out buy side liquidity, right? And then displacing down. That is bearish setups 101. So at this time, we're going to be looking to sell. What we'll do is we'll go to, what time is it right here? It's 8:45. We'll go, okay, 9:30 is moving pretty aggressively. Okay, so 9:30 is moving pretty aggressively. Oh, wow. Okay, so this is one of those days, let's be honest. I mean, I'm not going to be chasing this kind of stuff. So this is the day I always wait for the afternoon session. So at this time, I'm just going to go ahead and go to 1 p.m. What time is it right here? It's 11. Okay, 1 p.m. So this is where I come to the market and try to trade. On these kind of days, I always look for some kind of follow through. On these days, I always look for some kind of follow through. I'm just going to be looking for the market to come up above any kind of high. We'll see. Okay, the market came above a high. At this point, I'm bearish, right? So if I'm thinking like a bearish smart money participant, I'm looking to sell above highs, right? So at this time, we're coming up, we're trading above this high. We didn't take out all the buy side, but I'm still looking at a potential bearish scenario because we're coming above any high. So I'll still mark out these areas here. We might get stopped out on this trade. You got to stay mechanical. If I'm bearish in the PM session, I'm looking for any 5-minute swing point to sell above. I'm going to do this so on a 1-minute time frame. So we've came above this. See if we can get, okay, we might be going up to that high. Okay, no. So at this point, that point right there, I just sell. I know some people wait for that fair value gap. It's not how I usually do it. So I'm just going to do 2 to 1. Actually comes kind of close to this low. So we'll see how this goes. Just go ahead and market sell from right there. Market's moving pretty aggressively. Come up. See, I mean, if we get tagged out, it is what it is. Chopping. Oh, there we go. Boom. And if you look at that, we are at 108,995. So that is enough to pass most prop firm challenges. You see, we did that with one loss, or was it one or no? I think it was one loss, and just fixed 2 to 1 using one strategy, one pair, trading one session. So let's look at these analytics. Just take a look at it. The win rate was 83%. All it took was 6 trades. We're again using that fixed 2 to 1. Average RR was 2, obviously. The average trade duration was just an hour. It's not long. It's really not that much. And notice how we didn't go back to the daily bias 100 times. We got a bias and we stuck with it. If that's one thing you guys can take away from this, please let it be that. Make sure that you're just focusing on the higher time frame narrative, because when you are, everything becomes a lot clearer, right? So our worst loss was a little bit less than 1%. I don't know why. It should have been just 1%. Average win was a little less than 2%. So I guess maybe it's accounting for fees or slippage or something. But yeah, I mean, every day was profitable. We did have a loss one day. Very easy to do this, guys. And this just shows you how simple it really can be. So you don't need 100,000 different strategies or different ways of doing things. You need to figure out what works for you and hammer it down.